If you've been keeping up with crypto lately, you'll know that the German government has just finished selling off its BTC. This Uber dump had everyone concerned, but what's even more concerning is that the Germans are not alone. Governments around the world have stacks so big that if they were to sell, it could cause mayhem in the markets. So today, we'll tell you which governments hold the most BTC, how they got their hands on it, and what they plan to do with their massive stacks. We'll start with the government with the largest crypto stash, and it probably won't be a surprise to learn that that crown belongs to the USA. According to data from Arkham, the US government holds over 213,000 BTC, although different sources suggest different amounts due to which wallets are included in the data. Anyway, Arkham's data suggests that the US government's crypto holdings also include 750 wrapped BTC, 50,000 ETH, 40,000 BNB, 10 million USDC, and over 121 million USDT, bringing its total crypto holdings to a whopping $14 billion, at least at the time of shooting. However, while it might look like Uncle Sam is one almighty gigawhale, the US government has reportedly never actually bought any BTC. Instead, all of its crypto holdings have been seized from those involved in illicit activities. One notable standout comes from somebody simply known as Individual X, an anonymous hacker whose identity is apparently known to US authorities, but not the public. Anyway, sometime between 2012 and 2013, Individual X managed to hack into the infamous Silk Road darknet marketplace and steal over 69,000 BTC. Apparently, Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht, who ran the site under the pseudonym Dread Pirate Roberts, became aware of Individual X's identity and started threatening the hacker so they'd return the funds. Instead, though, Individual X kept hold of all the stolen BTC, but didn't actually spend any of it. In February 2015, Individual X was apprehended and was made to sign a consent and agreement to forfeiture, handing over all that precious crypto, while Ross Ulbricht himself was given 2 life sentences. However, Individual X wasn't the only person to have wormed their way into the Silk Road, because another hacker was James Zhong. Now, I say hacker in quotation marks because his exploit was much less sophisticated. Basically, he just spammed the withdrawal button. Well, okay, it was a bit more technical than that, but, well, that's the gist of it. Anyway, Zhong managed to steal more than 51,000 BTC and then spent the next 10 years living it large, keeping his identity a secret by using crypto mixers until he was found in November 2021. How was he caught, I hear you ask? Well, Zhong made the mistake of calling 911 and reporting that someone had stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of crypto from his residence. Oh, the irony. This naturally raised eyebrows, but the real mistake was when Zhong later sent some of this stolen BTC to an exchange with KYC. The thing is, once he was caught, he knew the game was up. Opting to fully cooperate with investigators, he pleaded guilty to 1 count of wire fraud, handed over all of his BTC, and was sentenced to just 1 year and 1 day in prison, which could have been a lot worse. So then, much of Uncle Sam's BTC originates in one way or another from Silk Road, but not all of it. In one of crypto's more head-scratchingly bizarre stories of recent times, 94,000 BTC was seized from Ilya Lichtenstein and his wife, Heather Morgan. Ilya, who describes himself on LinkedIn as a, quote, technology entrepreneur, coder and investor, goes by the nickname Dutch, while his wife Heather goes by the nickname Razzle Khan. Basically, she's a god-awful TikTok rapper.
Moon in stars, we don't own cars, too cool for bars.
Oh yeah, like
Weird from Mars.
Sorry. Anyway, this charming couple were arrested in February 2022 for laundering almost 120,000 BTC that was stolen in the Bitfinex hack of 2016, which Ilya later confessed to being responsible for. And while Heather has been released back into the wild on bail, but we hope not to pick up her rap career, Ilya is still in jail and awaiting further sentencing. And by the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, help us out by crunching that like button to give it a boost. Also, subscribe to the channel and ping that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. And if you're looking to maximize your crypto gains, then the Coin Bureau deals page has you covered. We've managed to secure trading fee discounts of up to 70%, sign-up bonuses of up to $100,000, as well as discounts on some of the best hardware wallets out there. The link to that is in the description, but hurry, it won't be around forever. Now, you may at this point be wondering what happens with all this confiscated BTC. Well, usually the US government, like many other governments around the world, will manage and secure these assets in cold storage while investigations are ongoing, and then convert these funds to fiat, either through an exchange or an OTC auction. In fact, between 2014 and 2023, over $360 million of BTC was sold across 11 different auctions. Funds are then usually directed to law enforcement budgets or other public services. Notable BTC sales include those of March 2023, when the US sold more than 51,000 BTC acquired from Zhong, and more recently in June of this year, when the government moved almost 4,000 BTC to Coinbase. Despite this, though, the US still holds 213,297 BTC at the time of shooting, valued at almost $14 billion. So then, what happens next? Well, while it's possible that this BTC could be used as a hedge against inflation, it's unlikely. That's simply because $14 billion is nothing compared to the Federal Reserve's balance sheet of over $7.5 trillion. So, what's more likely is that the Justice Department will wait for more regulatory clarity on crypto in general before making any major moves. This could be accelerated thanks to crypto becoming a talking point of the US presidential election campaign, though. Trump's pick for vice president holds BTC, after all. Now, another known Bitcoin whale is the Chinese government, which at one point held over 190,000 BTC, and it's possible that it's still sitting on that stack to this day. This BTC was seized from the Plus Token scam project. For context, Plus Token was set up in 2018 and promised abnormally high returns on investment. Naturally, this lured in a slew of hopeful investors, resulting in an untold number of people getting wrecked. In 2020, Chinese officials arrested over 100 people involved in Plus Token, including 82 core team members and 27 people accused of being the masterminds behind the project. Ringleaders were jailed for up to 11 years, and all of the illicit crypto gains were seized by the authorities. Who doesn't love a happy ending? Now, the confiscated crypto included over 190,000 BTC, as well as more than 830,000 ETH, over 487 million XRP, and much more besides. While it's not 100% clear if China still holds this crypto, it's believed that most, if not all of it, has already been exchanged. Anyway, as part of the seizure ruling, the court said, quote, "The seized digital currencies will be processed pursuant to laws, and the proceeds and gains will be forfeited to the national treasury." In other words, they weren't exactly planning on hodling to new all-time highs. And not only has the Chinese government seized cryptocurrency assets, but it's also confiscated crypto equipment in the past as well. Following a crackdown on crypto in September 2021, Chinese officials seized more than 3,500 Bitcoin mining rigs in April the following year. Notably, the crackdown was intended to prevent Chinese citizens from mining and trading crypto, but ownership is still legal. The reason these measures were implemented was likely so that China can maintain authoritarian control, especially through the rollout of its digital yuan CBDC. And you can learn more about that in one of our previous videos by using the link in the description below. Anyway, what's crazy is that despite the ban on crypto mining, there has been speculation about Chinese state-owned mining operations. Well, it turns out this could very well be more truth than speculation. Case in point, in October last year, the US was keeping a close eye on BitOrigin, a Bitcoin mining operation set up near a Microsoft facility that supported the Pentagon. As it turns out, it could be directly traced back to the Chinese government. Not only did this present a threat to US national security, but it goes without saying that it rather goes against China's stance on cryptocurrency. Now, what China will actually do with any mined crypto remains unclear, but it's likely that any mined BTC would be sold off at the first opportunity, in much the same way as the 190,000 BTC seized from Plus token was. If China were then to wait until market conditions were favourable before offloading any BTC, well, this would only discredit the government's position further. Now, another government with a massive Bitcoin stash is none other than the dear old United Kingdom, which holds over 61,000 BTC. This crypto was seized by London's Metropolitan Police from a UK citizen named Jian Wen, who was found guilty of laundering funds from an investment fraud operation that took place in China in 2018. Jian Wen was accused of money laundering on behalf of her former employee, Zhumin Qian, who goes by the name Yadi Zhang. Basically, Zhang stole money from thousands of people in China and then converted these ill-gotten gains to BTC. She then fled the country and is still on the run to this day. Meanwhile, Jian Wen was caught after suspicions were raised about her sudden lifestyle changes. For context, in 2017, Wen was living in a flat above the Chinese restaurant that she worked in. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, she suddenly started renting a 6-bedroom house in North London. Her rent there was £21,420 per month. Now, either something wasn't quite right, or, well, we're all in the wrong business. Anyway, reports suggest that Wen also used this BTC to purchase several multi-million-pound houses and a load of expensive jewellery. But the major red flag for the authorities was when she tried to purchase a £30 million mansion using BTC. But when asked about how she'd managed to make so much money, she couldn't give an answer. While on trial, Wen pleaded not guilty, saying she was actually a victim and she was only doing as she was told. Not really the best excuse, if you ask me. She was subsequently found guilty in March 2024 for knowingly helping convert Zhang's BTC into cash, property, jewellery, and other luxury items. She was sentenced to 6 years and 8 months imprisonment in May. Now, the victims of this fraud have appealed to Beijing to get the UK to return their stolen BTC. While it's estimated that Yadi Zhang had stolen funds from just under 130,000 people, the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, who are assisting with the refund process, has put the number closer to 207,000 victims. Yikes. For now, all 61,245 BTC have remained dormant. The Crown Prosecution Service said in March that it had launched a civil recovery investigation that could result in its forfeiture, but didn't give a clear timescale. The wait for this is even more daunting when you consider a new UK law that came into effect from April this year. Basically, the National Crime Agency, or NCA, and the police have been authorised to, quote, seize, freeze and destroy cryptocurrency used by criminals. Police can transfer these illicit funds to a wallet under their control, and fraud victims will have to apply to have it returned. Of course, this isn't the only time crypto has been seized in the UK. In June 2021, the Metropolitan Police also confiscated around £114 million worth of crypto as part of a money laundering investigation, although it isn't clear what crypto was actually seized. At the time, this marked a record for the largest ever seizure of crypto assets in the UK. That record was beaten just a few weeks later, though, because in the following month of July, police then seized a further £180 million worth of crypto related to the same investigation. Kind of makes you wonder if they really managed to get it all this time, or if there's still someone out there with a secret stash somewhere. In any case, this was an insane amount of crypto to be seized. And as a not-so-fun fact, February 2022 also saw the UK government seize NFTs for the first time ever in an investigation involving tax fraud. Now, all of these assets were sold off after the investigations were finalised, and this is what makes it difficult for those fraud victims we mentioned a moment ago. That's because the Metropolitan Police have said that Chinese authorities have yet to ask for this stolen BTC to be returned. If UK authorities determine that nobody is entitled to the stolen assets, they'll be sold off in the same way as in these other cases, with half of the funds going to the police and the other half going to the Home Office. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. And last on the list of government whales is Ukraine, albeit for very different reasons. As you'll probably know, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has resulted in many people donating various cryptocurrencies to help Ukraine with military and humanitarian funding. While it's unclear how much was raised in total, a CoinDesk article from July last year suggested that Ukraine had raised over $225 million worth of crypto from supporters around the world. These funds included $83 million in USDT, $79 million worth of ETH, and $41 million worth of BTC, with plenty of other cryptos being donated too. Just imagine if everyone who donated had tried to do so through the banking system. But if you thought that was crazy, these donations aren't even the reason why Ukraine made it onto this list. In April 2021, the Ukrainian government released a data report that indicated that public officials owned over 46,000 BTC between them. More specifically, 700,000 officials made property declarations, and of those, 652 declared that they owned BTC. The average amount between each of these was 71 BTC each. Some of these officials were true Bitcoin whales. Several individuals said they owned over 5,000 BTC. One individual even reported owning 18,000 BTC, which is worth well over $1.1 billion at the time of shooting. Truly mind-blowing stuff. Of course, the Ukrainian government has the same obligations as every other government around the world, and so naturally this means that crypto has also been seized from those involved in illicit activities. A recent instance of this was in December last year, when officials from the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine seized around $1.5 million worth of crypto from Ukraine's former head of state communications. This consisted of around $1.2 million of USDT and 7 BTC. And in July of 2021, a strange turn of events unfolded as Ukrainian police raided a supposedly empty warehouse to find that it contained nearly 5,000 computing units mining Bitcoin, including around 3,800 PS4 consoles. Now, I'm not sure how well a PS4 could mine BTC, but then I guess that's why there were so many of them. I mean, at least they would have stacked better than the oddly shaped PS5, but well, I digress. Anyway, this mining rig would have lost more money than it gained had it not been for the illegal miners' manipulation of electricity meters to steal the power they needed. This stolen electricity was estimated to be worth between $180,000 and $260,000, and its theft had the potential to cause electrical shortages for an entire city. Now, all of this begs the question of how this will affect the crypto market in the coming weeks and months. Well, it goes without saying that any government holding seized crypto, including those not mentioned in today's video, is likely to sell at some point. Depending on the government in question, this could suppress the markets in much the same way as we've seen with the recent sales from the German government. That said, there's always the chance that some of these governments could opt for keeping their crypto holdings as a reserve to prop up their local fiat currencies. If you watched our recent video about when governments could start buying BTC, you'll know that BTC in particular holds several key advantages that could make it the ideal currency reserve. And of course, you can learn more about that by following the link in the description below. Regardless, the slightest whiff of government selling BTC is likely to cause enough FUD in the markets to cause more damage than the selling itself. That's simply because the markets cannot stand uncertainty. If the crypto market was Superman, then uncertainty would be its kryptonite. And SBF would probably be Lex Luthor, albeit he'd need a long overdue haircut for that gig. Anywho, this is actually something that we spoke about in our recent Mt. Gox video. The FUD thing, that is, not the weird Superman reference. I'll remind you that the link to that video is in the description as well. Of course, while governments continue to hold massive stacks of sats, the concern that they might decide to offload them will always be hanging over the crypto market. However, if regulations continue to develop in the same way that we're currently seeing around the world, then there's always the possibility that governments could decide to buy more. A lot more, in fact, because their central banks would have the power to print enough money to buy up enough BTC to make it a true reserve currency. But well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Realistically, governments would probably opt to mine BTC rather than buy it. It's even possible that they would try to seize more BTC from their citizens by making it illegal to self-custody. If this sounds familiar, that's because the US government did something similar with gold in the 1930s. Topic for another time and another video. Anyhow, there are two big bullish catalysts on the horizon for crypto from a governmental perspective. One is that the likely next president of the United States has come out in support of the industry and appointed a VP who seems to be even more crypto-friendly. If Trump returns to the White House, that should, in theory, pave the way for positive crypto regulations in the world's largest economy. Then there's the oft-forgotten fact that as of January 1st, 2025, central banks will be permitted to hold up to 2% of their reserves in crypto. You don't need to be an economist to know that that adds up to a potentially awfully large amount of money. And so, who knows, maybe governments might be about to start buying rather than selling. So, buckle up. Things could be about to get wild. Okay, that's all for today's video, folks. If you enjoyed it, smash those like and subscribe buttons and turn on those notifications so you don't miss our next one. If you know someone who would love content like this, well, consider taking a second to share this video with them. Also, don't forget to check out the Coin Bureau deals page, where you can find trading fee discounts of up to 70% and sign-up bonuses of up to $100,000, only for the viewers of this channel. The link to that is in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, this is Guy, signing off.